Good afternoon, YouTube. How are you this afternoon? I'm pretty good. As you can probably tell from the title, this is not a vlog. I'm going to be doing a little review here of the Falcon Electronics 1080p dual cam drive cam. It's a pretty good little camera, and we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to show some examples of the video and give you my impressions and opinions. I had another company send me one for free, and I tried it and I did not like it. And this one is pretty good. It meets pretty much most of my needs, and I'm going to tell you what it does do and what it doesn't do, and what I like and what it doesn't like. First of all, I'm not going to do an unboxing. Those are so boring. But basically what is in this box is the camera itself, and it looks like that. This is the main camera. It is about 3 inches across and about 1.5 inches wide, and I'll show you here in a minute because I have it installed. And this is the exterior camera, and this particular combo unit is designed for front and back use. Now, the system is designed for truck drivers, okay, but this one could also be used in a car. But what it does come with is it comes with that camera, the two cameras. The second cam is waterproof, and it's designed for outdoors. Both of them have infrared as well. I'm going to be blatantly upfront. I don't think these cameras really need infrared. Not for what they're designed for. Infrared lighting on a camera is really only good for 10 to 15 feet, maybe 20 tops, and that is in ideal conditions. And in this type of environment, it's not going to do any good at night. Matter of fact, as part of drive cams with lights at night flashing into the eyes of the camera, or the lenses of the camera, I should say, the infrared is completely worthless. So in my install, I have both of them turned off. The exterior cam has separate power wiring for that infrared, and I didn't even bother to wire it up because it's not worth it. It comes with a 30-foot cable to connect the exterior camera to the main unit, and basically what it is just a long, like an audio mic cable, and it's got a 2.5 millimeter jack that plugs into the main unit, and I'll show you that here in a second. And then the cable, which is 30 feet long, and then the camera itself has a cable that's about 1 foot long that plugs in to the back of it or into the end of it to allow it to be to get power and to transmit what it does. These cameras come stock with a 16 gigabyte micro SD card. It's a pretty standard kind of card. It's an Ultra, which is the lowest of the camera base, I believe. I'm not really up on memory cards much anymore like I used to be. But Falcon, when you order this, allows you to pick the size of memory card you want. Now, the one I picked comes with a 128 gigabyte card. And it does hold a lot. If you're only recording one camera, which is the front one, it's the default, you can get about 14 hours of 1080p video on that card. If you are recording both the front and rear cameras, which the rear camera is 720 VGA, and we will talk about that here in a minute too, you can get about 6 hours of recording on a 128 gigabyte card. So this past weekend I went to Best Buy and I bought Walmart. I bought a 200 gigabyte Ultra Max SD card and plug it in and let it run using both cameras to see how long it would take to override. I let it run for 17 hours before I unplugged it and checked the memory card. It had not started to override. And what I mean by override is it does a continuous recording unless you turn it off or tell it not to record. And once it gets to a certain point, the memory card gets to a certain only so much free space left, it deletes older files and starts rewriting them. It has G-sensor technology, which I have turned off at the moment for the applications that I'm using it for. What the G-sensor technology does is when it detects an event, sudden stop, accident, whatever, it will save the current video file it's on and put a marker on it to prevent it from being deleted. And as a matter of fact, it actually renames the file and with an appendix called SOS. Big things about it, like I said, it does record 2 views at a time. It saves everything in standard MOV format, the H.264, which is readable by everything, Windows and Macintosh without any problem. The screen, the unit itself has a 2.7-inch color LCD screen and uses picture-in-picture so you can see what both cameras are doing. Like I said, it has G sensor with lock and save. The front camera is 1080p, 130-degree angle, wide angle view. Really nice, shows a lot. The detail is pretty good. However, it still does not, without some manipulation of the video once you've downloaded it, it's very difficult to read the license plate numbers unless literally the vehicle is right in front of you. So it's a pretty good system for the value. With the I believe with the 128 megabyte card, including shipping, I paid about $220. The whole system is like $150 with the base. And this is actually a companion unit. They sell another system that's a 4-camera system that's actually 2 of these that are designed so you have 4 cameras on the truck. It's my intention in the future to actually buy that 4-camera system. This is going to sound stupid, but I'm going to have 6 cameras on my truck. But that's a whole other story. We're not talking about that right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the unit itself and show you how I have it installed. Okay, so here's what we got here. This is the unit itself, and it comes with a very good suction mount. It's actually quite small on here. And this is the unit itself. It's got 3 buttons down this side and 3 buttons down that side. And it's unfortunately, it's kind of hard to see because of the way things are. Let me see if I can turn the brightness up a little bit. There you go. If you'll notice, this is the main picture. This is what's looking out in front of the truck. And over here in the little bitty box is the rear view camera. One of the things that was touted about this is that you would be able to use it as a rear view camera if you hardwired it into your vehicle. I could find a way of doing that, not that I would. And even if I could, that little camera is not enough because that's less than 1 inch in size. It's really difficult to see. So basically, for the most part, I just ignore the screen because I'm looking to record over time. In addition, what we have here is these 3 buttons control how the thing works. This is a menu system. Right now it's recording, but if I hit this button right here, it'll stop recording, and it turns into an OK button after that. And it's got a menu system with a bunch of different settings and scroll. Over here, that's the panic button. If something happens, you can hit that and hit a panic button, and then there's an up and down arrow for scrolling through the videos. It uses a standard mini USB for power. I have it connected. This is it right here. I have it wrapped around my telephone mount, and I have it plugged over here into a multi-USB power port that runs off the truck battery. This cable right here is the cable that leads off to the camera in the back, and I'll show you how I have that run here in a minute. The video quality on the screen is actually pretty good when you're looking at it, but you got to kind of get down close to look at it. Not really sure my camera will do it. Nope, sorry. Not gonna do it. But maybe you can see from this distance, it's actually pretty good. I can discern, even by looking at the thing, I can see the trees that are over there and those trucks that are here in the parking lot here at Maverick. It took like 60 seconds to attach the mount, and it works real well. You can actually just slide this right off, and then it goes right back on. My only complaint for its initial setup was that this screw, which tightens to hold it in place, was actually backwards. It was on this side over here, so I had to unscrew it, take it completely apart, and turn it around, because with the screw on this side of the mount, the power cable would not plug in. And even with it here, the plug for the rear view camera just barely fits in the hole. There's a master power button right here that allows you to turn it on and off. There's also an HDMI port right here next to the video. You might be able to see that little slot right there that allows you to plug this thing directly into the TV. I tried it and I couldn't get it to work, but I may have been doing something wrong. The instruction books, the books that come with it are not great, but they're not bad either. The SD card port is right here on the side, right there, and it supports SD cards up to 256 gigabytes. They say on the website that you can get 24 hours of recording on a 256 gigabyte, and I bet you that's what the cards that they may supply, though they don't supply a 256. But if you get the highest end, you probably get a lot more data on it. So that's the main unit, and we'll take a look at the camera, the rear camera, here in a second. But I'm going to show you how I actually installed this thing. So what I did is, of course, I mounted it here on the windshield, and the way I have it set up, when I'm in the driver's seat, or even when my students in the driver's seat, they can see it. But when my students in the driver's seat, I turn the screen off so they can't see it. But basically, it's just mounted right there. A lot of people like to mount it up high. I didn't want to do that because I wanted a different vantage point for the videos that I shoot. I took the camera cable for the back, and it's sitting right here, and then I have it drop down. It goes down in here to the dash, and it's run under the dash down here, and then I ran it down the side of the door of the truck. Now this is a 2015 Freightliner, and pretty much all Freightliners are exactly the same. Then what I did on top of that is I came up and I brought the cable down, and I ran it up under here, and there's a rubber plug up in the firewall that I ran it through, and I ran it through the engine block, and I came back down through here, and now it's run inside the body frame, inside this edging. Matter of fact, the edging is so tight that in a few places, like right here, you can see the cable, and it keeps coming on down. And then I ran it up this way, and because we can't make any modifications to the trucks here, I had to do a little finagling. So it comes up right here, there you go, and then I ran it up the side of the fairing all the way up. Now to protect the cable, what I did is I wrapped it in electrical tape at the main points, and then it just keeps coming on up, and then I mounted it underneath the Qualcomm unit, and this is the camera right here. My only complaint is the lens gets really dirty quite often, but that's okay. These 4 points are the infrared lights. So what I did is I ran the cable up here. It comes through the housing and it connects to the back, and I taped up the connector where it connects to the incoming cable, so it would not come apart and stay loose. What I did though is it came with a little sticky mount and 2 microscopic screws. Well, I can't screw into this up here, so what I did is I took some extra GoPro accessory mounts, because I used to have the GoPro mounted up here. I used the bicycle mount clip to screw it to the top of the Qualcomm wire, and then I took the accessory screw bolt, which I believe is right there, you can see it hopefully. Now I put it through the bottom of the bracket, through the bracket right there, and that allows me to get it in there. And I had it angled, and what I did is I cheated. I took a string and I tied it right there, and I drug it all the way back to where the trailer would be. When I did it, I had a trailer attached to the edge, so the line of sight went all the way back to the trailer. So that's how I have it mounted, and it works really well. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how I have it set up. It's a really simple setup. I'm not sure how other guys do it. This particular one, like I said, is designed as a it is a 2-camera system, but it's designed to be a front and back. The 4-camera system, which I do not have, and when I do get one, I will review that one as well. Those outdoor cameras are supposed to go underneath the mirror mounts outside, and then each interior camera is supposed to go up in the corner, so you get a 360-degree view of what's going on around the truck. If I do indeed get that system, which I'm leaning towards doing, then that will actually be my drive cam, and I will continue to use the existing system to shoot the videos for this YouTube channel. First impressions, the system is very, very easy to use. The menu system that's built into the camera is kind of vague, and I do have one specific problem with it. Under the settings for the backup camera is what it's called. It has two settings, one for 720 and one for VGA. It only works in VGA mode. It does record in 720, okay, but it has to be in VGA mode for it to actually record and to display it on the screen. I have yet to figure out any other way to have it do that. I would ideally like it just to record and not display it in a picture-in-picture on the screen. The quality of the front camera is really, really good, but the quality of the back camera is somewhat lacking. It is 720, but it's not 720 HD. And that makes the videos grainy at times, especially depending on the light and depending on the time of day and how things are set up. I will continue to use it for now in hopes that maybe eventually they'll come up with a better camera, or they'll come up with a camera replacement that will be a 720 HD. I don't need a 1080p HD rear camera. You know, if I wanted that, I'd just buy another one of these and stick it in the back, but that's not waterproof. So overall impressions, it's a really good system. It's very good, you know, deal for the money. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a low-cost, entry-level way of getting a drive cam. Whether you just want to have a drive cam to record events and to, well, for lack of a better phrase, save your ass if something happens. Because as truck drivers, we know that most of the motoring public just don't pay attention to what they're doing. I've already got several hours of excess footage from the front cam of people cutting me off, doing weird stuff on the road. You know, I've got 2 accidents already recorded, not accidents involving me, but accidents that happened ahead of me. So it's just one of those kinds of things. So I do recommend the camera if you're looking, like I said, looking for a low-cost entry-level alternative. So it's the Falcon Electronics Dashcam. That's dashcam.co. And you know, just check them out and give them a try. They have my understanding is they have a 30-day money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied. I've had mine for about 16, 17 days, and so far I am mostly satisfied. On a rating of 1 to 5, I'm going to give it a 3.5 as an overall value. So until we speak again, keep the shiny side up, 73s. See you later.